great food, and the cost of living is just so cheap. Even being a mother and working part-time in a scattered meat processing factory, I was still able to provide for little Mr. Torg. We may not have been able to afford the finer things in life, like food, but we got by. After all, Mr. Torg and I didn't have anything but one another after that horrible gas leak blew up the iridium mine, killing my son and his lovely wife. From that day onward, my little Mr. Torg vowed to conquer explosions themselves in an effort to avenge his fallen parents. And oh man, I forgot what I was talking about. Where was? Oh right, the blowhole, the apocalypse. So anyway, I was wrestling blowhole to the ground, and I had my bicep curled around his blueberry throat. Sorry, I meant to say recovery. I've got blueberries on the brain, I guess. I grow them in my backyard. Mr. Torg helped me get them. Thanks again for that, friends.
I love you, Grandma!
Anyway, I have my bicep around his blubbery throat, and Mr. Torg starts crying because he really likes whale squids, and he doesn't want to see me hurt one.
They are the princes of the ocean!
So I let the whale go after giving it a punch in the eyeball so he'll remember me, and it swam away into the ocean. And then I had Mr. Torg drive me to the ice cream parlor. He got me Rocky Road, because Rocky Road's my favorite. I'm extremely partial to the way the marshmallows act like little landmines amidst the battleground of chocolate. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Is it pistachio? I bet it's pistachio. Oh, that reminds me! You'll never guess who I saw today! Pistachio the Amazing! He's a magician who studied under Crazy Earl, so he's got that weird mustache, you know, but I saw him disappear. Oh, rapper! I said to Mr. Torg, Mr. Torg, wasn't that amazing? And he said, yes, it was, Grandma. Didn't you say that high five? You remember saying that?
I remember, Grandma!
And we stood in line afterward and got his autograph, and I thought I had it somewhere around here, but it's probably in the attic. I really ought to go up there and read it out one of these days. I have so many little keepsakes up there. You're paying attention, right? Hey, what's my favorite flavor of ice cream? Oh, so you are listening. How wonderful. You're an even better listener than my old pet rack, Beasto. Beasto was such a sweetie. Your kind of pet rack, if you can tame them, they are the sweetest pet you'll ever have. He used to just sit on my shoulder and bite chunks of flesh out of my neck past his eye. I still remember the way he used to tweet. It was so cute. I had a conversation with him once. I said, Mr. Beasto. He liked me to call him Mr. Beasto. And Mr. Beasto, you look very cute today. And he said, oh, thank you. That's so nice. Retweeted in a way that made me know that's how he felt. And then he lowered his little head like he was taking a bow. It was adorable. Beasto was my third pet. First I had Woody. He got hit by a train. Then I had Anita. She got shot up trying to take vengeance on the train that killed Woody. And then I found Beasto making little poops on the windmill outside our house. After Mr. Torg and I wrestled her to the ground, I just climbed her up near my temperature. Got him straight in the spine and brought him down. We brought him in and fed him some spag steaks until he decided he loved us. I still miss Beasto sometimes. He just died of it. Wrapped to live as long as a few years, but I treasured the time we had together. When Beasto died, he cried for a week. The kids made fun of him at school, but I told him not to pay them any mind.
Being in touch with your emotions is not a character flaw!
That's right, high five. Is something wrong? You look confused, Vault Hunter. Oh, you probably haven't heard anyone call Mr. Torg high five before. The world may know him as Mr. Torg, but the Flexingtons always refer to him using his middle name. It's the Flexington family tradition, after all, to use your grandfather or grandmother's name as your own middle name. And my husband, High Five Flexington, God rest his soul, the best grandfather Mr. Torg could have asked for before he passed. He taught Mr. Torg dang near everything he knew about firearms. Without High Five's teachings, I don't think the Torg Corporation would exist at all. Gosh, I still remember the first gun Mr. Torg tried to make after his parents died. A Jacobs shotgun with a stick of dynamite attached to the barrel. Torg nearly blew his face off, but he got up, dusted his mustache off, and swore that by the time he reached the age of 11, he would make a gun that fired explosions without killing the operator. And by golly, he did. It took a couple of dozen prototypes before he got the right combination of gun parts and explosives right. But once he did, woo-wee! I'll never forget the plume of smoke that used to be my neighbor's homestead. They were jerks though, so it's okay. Gosh, I've been talking your ear off for some time, haven't I? So kind of you to listen for this long. I've taken up too much of your time already. Please don't feel like you have to stick around any longer. As a matter of fact, giving this old woman some You're even more attractive than Mr. Torque said you were. I've got another story for you, but I'd like to tell it to all of your friends at once. An old lady like me has to save her voice, you know. Oh, you still want to talk with me? How incredibly sweet of you. Say, you'll never guess who I saw today. Captain Scarlet. She was robbing my retirement home with a few other friends, and I recognized her from her wanted poster, and I said, "Oh, hey, you fought the Vault Hunter, didn't you?" And she bowed all elegantly and said something like, "Indeed I did, madam," and said that you were really good at fighting, and that you beat her fair and square. She didn't seem to harbor much of a grudge about it. Nice girl. You should think about meeting up with her again if you're not shacked up with anybody, you know? I mean, of course you probably are. Gorgeous hunk of a Vault Hunter like you. I bet you're beating away suitors left and right. Look, you're blushing. Oh, I could just eat you up. Mr. Torgue was so scared of trying to get a date for such a long time. He used to go to parties in high school and just stand in the back without talking to anybody.
I am an introvert!
I tried to tell him, I said, don't worry about chasing love. You chase your dreams and love will follow. See, that's the thing people don't get. You watch Echo films and they're just awful. They teach you that the only way to be with someone is just to pursue them over and over until they decide they like you. In reality, you know when you like someone almost immediately. You can't really convince somebody to fall in love with you. You just look like a stalker. But if you do things that you're interested in, like making guns that explode or killing mercenaries, then people will see that confidence and skill you have, and they'll be attracted to it. There's always a fine line between that kind of confidence and narcissism. There's nothing worse than somebody who wants to be famous. I remember when Mr. Torgue first sold his weapons tech to that board of directors, he was pretty egocentric for a while, taking pictures of himself and posting them to the internet all the time, trying to hobnob with every celebrity that used his weapons. He came back home one day with a supermodel under each arm, and I said, "Mr. Torgue, what are you doing? You've lost sight of who you are. It's been weeks since you actually created a new gun," I said. And it was true. He'd been more obsessed with being well known for doing something great than with actually doing something great.
It was a dark point in my life.
Thankfully, High Five listened to me and got to work on what would eventually become the Kerblaster. Fan of the Kerblaster? That was always my favorite. That is Blacker, which I know a lot of people hate. But there's more to combat than just brute efficiency in this old lady's eyes. Style counts for something. And there's nothing quite like filling the air. Tiny little explosions. It's like a fireworks show, except the deaths aren't as sad and unexpected. Actually, that reminds me, now that you're here, I wanted to throw some ideas at you for feedback. I'm a playwright in my spare time, and I'm trying to write a story about an up-and-coming tournament fighter who tries to find love in a gladiatorial arena. And I figure you've got a lot of experience, so your feedback is really valuable. So the play is called Broken Hearts and Broken Necks. Scene 1. Faded in an arena, just after a battle. A lone warrior standing in the middle of the stage, a spotlight illuminating her bloodstained arm. She's there, holding her sword triumphantly aloft. Valkyrie, is there no more?
Which is superior?
Must I be destined to spend my life as the strongest, the bravest, the most invincible warrior this galaxy has seen, for I am Valkyrie, Scourge of the Gladiatorial Game! A janitor with a heavy and even heavier conscience. He began sweeping the body parts into her hand, which is colored blue, and the mouth is that same color, until melancholy overtakes him. He drops his bush throat to the floor and falls to his knees before delivering a heart-wrenching speech. The blood cannot be washed away, not before and not now, even as I attempt to escape the past which haunts me still. Must I live forever as a fraud, sweeping up the trash of others to hide my... shame and avoid my pursuers? Must I forever remain on the periphery of joyful combat, ever watchful but never participating? Lateral, Valkyrie re-enters the stage left. Good morrow, lowly janitor. I heard a noise and thought it worth investigating. Only was nothing but wails of the souls you released from their bodies tonight. Souls that wail in agony as they fly up. What have they to wail about? Their agonies are over, ended at the point of my sword. Mine, however, have only yet begun, for it is lonely at the top, and an unchallenged life is boring. No doubt. Yes, ma'am, Borderlands is a true tragedy. May you one day find challenge in combat. No doubt picks up a giant two-armed bastard sword calls What is this? What strength this janitor possessed? Who is he to pick up a bastard sword with 2 fingers? What hidden power does he hold? What secrets does he hold? I will engage his past in the hopes that our swords may cross in battle! Seem to the interior of the governor's house continues.
Just die!
I didn't even ask him for the feedback on the press.
Hold it right there!
Oh, wonderful, I'll continue. Scene 2. The governess enters from stage left. Governess, I refuse to respond to these absurd accusations. Her husband looks quizzical. And what accusations may those be? Actually, you know what? I don't think I'm ready to get feedback on the play yet. But what about you? What are you up to? Tell Grandma Flexington all about it. I bet you've had some amazing adventures. Mr. Torg told me about the time you all played bunkers and badasses together. He said it was one of the most fun and welcoming experiences of his life.
Grandpa! You're embarrassing me!
Sorry, sweetie, but really, you and the Vault Hunters are his first real pals. It wasn't easy for Mr. Torg to make friends at school when he had facial hair at age 8, pecs at 8.5, and dead parents by age 9. People found him intimidating. But I told him that he should be thankful for the fact that he looks different. Anyone who wouldn't be friends with him based on appearance wouldn't be a very good friend anyway. But he really does like hanging out with all of you. Most people these days want to pose for pictures or something up by flexing at it. It's not often he gets to sit down and play games with people. Oh, speaking of games, did you play Going Back to the House yet? It's a new echo simulation about exploring a log cabin you lived in when you were a kid. There's no violence or anything. You just walk around looking at cereal boxes and remembering people you made out with. I really like where Echo Sims have gone in the past few years, don't you? There seem to be a lot more of them with interesting things to do beyond shooting people. And the writing has gotten so tight besides. For instance, did you ever play The Samurai's Marker? The whole game's story was delivered through haiku. Did Zero write it or something? No, I'm just joshing. I know you're too busy for that. But oh yeah, I was playing at the end of the pointed gun last night on my Echo Sim player, and wow, is that fun. It's about a guy who punches people and smacks himself in the face with doors. Easily one of the best punch-related comedy sims ever. But oh, I'm really looking forward to this game called Robot Hunter. Squadron, which is this big randomized survival game about throwing bottles at trees and accidentally scaring birds. In the demo version, I scared a bird so hard it died. But what kind of things do you do for fun? You play any sports? You look like you might be into some of the more extreme stuff, like spine hurdling or psycho head volleyball. I knew an athlete a lot like you when I was younger. Her name was Nijo, and she was especially gifted at the giblet toss. That's an old pastime we had back when I was young. The idea was you punch a convict, and then see how far you could make their viscera fly across a big field. You got points based on distance and the size of the viscera. She won the final round of the giblet toss championship by getting a left eyeball to cross the 300-meter mark. They said she was juicing with iridium, but I think they were just angry that she dethroned the reigning champ, misogynistic Jeff. People really liked him for some reason. Hey, what's your favorite food? Mine's burgers. People look at you like you're a pleb or something when you say you like burgers, but just think of all the things you can do with them. You can change out the patty, play around with the toppings, change what sides you have. You ever have a burger with veggie chips? Gosh, I all but forgot about fries for about a year after I discovered the veggie chip combo. And I'm not a vegetarian or anything, but those veggie patties they make on the more upper class world are really good. Better than real meat if you cook it right. Mr. Toy tried to be vegetarian once after he saw a fluff bear get run over by a shark.
12 seconds!
Barely even finished the word vegetarian before he lunged at a skag chew I was holding in my left hand. Nearly lost his finger. Granted, he's always been partial to skag chews or skag bacon. Don't know why, since I always felt like skags tasted like old tires.
Here you go!
But to each his own. Taste is a funny thing. People say your taste buds get more refined as time goes on, but they actually get worse and worse. So when Mr. Ford used to refuse vegetables as a kid, it's because he was actually tasting how awful they were. When we old folks eat vegetables, we're only okay with it because we can't taste all the gross vitamins and stuff. Granted, vitamins are what have kept me going for as long as I'm going. You get enough B12 in your system and you can head where a freight train without so much speed. That reminds me, I need to get my bills ready for the rest of the week. I have one of those little metal containers split into different sections for each day. It's really helpful. And the sides are sharp enough that I can use it to ward off burglars if I need to. What else do I do? Probably head to the bazaar, pick up some frozen spider planks. Gotta bring my coat though, because it gets kind of chilly in the freezer section. Oh, I need Schwartzman's candy drops. Gosh, those are delicious. They're so smooth and sweet. Just thinking about them, I could go right now. Couldn't help it. You think you could go find me?
No, more damage!
Candy drop? Grab it for me, will ya? Oh, I can taste it already.
Stop struggling.
You understand?
Freeze!
Oh, wonderful. Bring it back here and I'll finish my story.
A new meat company!
Thank you so much! I'll eat this later while sitting by the fireplace telling Mr. Torg stories of days gone by. There's just nothing like a good roaring fireplace, is there? Something healing and safe. Maybe that's why our family likes explosions so much. They're basically just big fireplaces. Every explosion feels just like coming home. Oh, maybe that'd be a good slogan for the Torg Corporation. Don't you think? High five? Oh, don't be silly. It's a wonderful slogan and you know it. I used to come up with slogans for a living when I was in my teens. I came up with the jingle for Professor Gunsight's Can't Miss Scopes. How'd it go again? Oh, yeah! If you try to shoot but you miss a lot, then give Professor Gunsight Scopes a shot. Ha! And then they played a gunshot sound effect and someone going, ah! It was cute. Gosh, I've been talking for a while now, haven't I? Thanks for bringing your friends to listen to an old woman ramble for a while. I can't tell you how great it is to have somebody new to talk to, especially a vault hunter. Oh, and one more thing. No, actually, that can probably make just something about vaults and the end of the universe. Anyway, here. I always spoil my friends, just like I spoiled my grandson. Enjoy it!
Welcome to Hallowed Hollow, the only community for Pandora's exiled and retired undead. I'm the town's lookout, TK Baja. Why don't you come on and find me, would you? Just follow the sound of the blind redneck zombie's voice. Lately, a real sourpuss named the Pumpkin Kingpin's been hassling the townsfolk. They're so scared these days, they won't even step outside. Why don't you get out there and give them the old 1-2 for me?
Enough. Stay still. Let's do that again sometime. Please stop.
And that clearing on the other side of that gate. Oh, horseradish. The Kingpin must have cast a locking spell on this gate. You're gonna need an enchanted skeleton key. Why don't you dig up some graves and let's find ourselves some enchanted bones, yeah?
Stop!
Folks buried there must have been normal type people. We're gonna need the bones of wizards to create a working skeleton key. Keep on looking. Looks like an enchanted skeleton.
Hold it right there.
Why don't you give him a wallop? If you should be a skeleton close to making us, that's one of the enchanted bones you'll need. Once you find the others, and maybe you'll be able to go toe-to-toe with the Pumpkin Kingpin himself. Yeehaw! I haven't been this happy since that time I got killed.
Well,
I can make it!
Great! Only one more bone piece left. Then you can make yourself a skeleton key. Found the last enchanted skeleton! Why don't you drop him quicker than an uncomfortable subject at a family dinner? Alright! Now that you got all the enchanted bones, why don't you head to the blacksmith's and forge yourself a skeleton key? While you're there, tell Sully the blacksmith that I said hi.
Stop! Goodbye. Please stop. Gotcha!
You're gonna need the blacksmith's hammer to make the key. Now, where could he be? Sully? Hey, Sully! You got a customer over here? Oh, there he is! Why don't you ask him for his hammer, would you? I'm sure he'll hand it over if you ask him nicely. Sounds like you two are done talking, huh? I was sure he'd come. All right. Now, smack those bones together and forge yourself a skeleton key.
Enough. Another one down! Gross.
find the Pumpkin Kingpin's lair and make the rivers run orange with pumpkin guts.
Hold it right there!
Hyperion suggests that you rejoice in your temporary death. A victory achieved without suffering is no victory at all.
Satisfying.
Get your health and shields right here. See you real soon.
This is definitely where the Pumpkin Kingpin lives, but he ain't here. Must be sleeping underground. Oh, I bet if you flood the area, you probably have to come up for air. Oh, get to the windmill. Windmill ain't working, is it? Oh, great horny toads. Must be scrag nesting up there in the blades. Better clear them all out. I'm sorry. I bet this is frustrating for you.
You stop! That was interesting!
abominations there were made by good old Dr. Zed. Speaking of which, have you seen Zed or Ned lately? What about Ted? Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. We ain't supposed to talk about the Forbidden Brother. My bad. Who kicked him out of the Iridium Blight. Said there was a real big, small, or normal-sized man or woman, and that there was 1 to 4 of them. The legends are pretty vague.
Calm down.
Showdown with the Pumpkin Kingpin. Whenever you're ready, just head back to the Kingpin's domicile. How's our hemoglobin pumps? Got a few vampires in town and, well, they make milkshakes out of blood. I had one once. It was all right. pal.
Coming on by, stranger. Don't as payment for my watchfulness. I asked the town folks for my favorite candy, sugary brain bites. I ain't been able to collect any though
Since my zombie polio started acting up again. Could you make the rounds for me and maybe bring me back as much brain-flavored candy as you can?
You won't enjoy this. Who's next?
Sweet baby gums. I've been trying to wean myself off actual brains for a while now. And those candies there sure do the trick, don't they? Why don't you get me some more, would you? Brain Bites got all the taste of brains without all the hassle of chasing and murdering and looking at your bloody hands screaming, "Oh God, what have I become?" Out for this town might be boring as sin, but that there candy makes the whole deal worthwhile. Yeehaw!
Silence! Powerless! Stop! That must have hurt. Stop struggling.
Sugary Brain Bites. had enough candy to keep me on a gray matter sugar high for months. Why don't you come on back?
Hold it right there.
So then, after Lilith and all them killed... Yay! Candy! Thanks a bunches. Before I eat all these, I'm gonna push them together into a big lump and pretend it's the brain of somebody I don't like.
Who's next?
Who am I kidding? There ain't nobody I don't like. They're all delicious.